today's lesson, we're going to look at how I go about building a solo, the types of things I play to set up a groove and lay a solid foundation, and how to use motifs and call and response phrasing to give our solos structure and tell a story. My name is Jack Ruch. Welcome to my channel. Let's get into it. So there's lots of different types of solos. Some are short and conversational, and some take you on a longer journey. But every great solo tells a story. And like every great story, every great solo has a structure. It's not just a bunch of random phrases strung together. So it's important to have a plan when you start soloing, a rough outline in your mind of how you want things to go and how you want to develop your ideas. Now, every song is different, and the tempo, the groove, the chord progression, the length of the solo section, and the overall vibe and feel of the music is going to inform the specific approach that you take to that solo. But for today's lesson, we're just going to cover some broad, basic tips you can use, and we're going to do this over a one-chord vamp in the key of C. So the first thing to consider is space. Now the solo section we're playing over today is 32 bars. And with a longer solo like this, it's important to not play too many notes or phrases right away so that you have room to grow and you don't run out of ideas to play later in your solo. You want to set this thing up and ease into it and let your ideas develop as the solo continues. So to begin, these first 4 bars, I'm going to play 2 very simple phrases and leave a ton of space. So next up, we're going to establish a rhythmic motif. Now this is great for improvising because once you have a rhythmic motif in place, you can elaborate on it and change up the note choices while keeping the basic rhythm the same. This is also great for creating a theme to your solo and laying a basic foundation you can build on and call back to later in your solo. So for this next 8 bars, we're going to establish this rhythmic motif revolving around these 2 notes, the flat 7 and the 6 in the key of C. And I'm going to play a very simple phrase. And for this, I'm really focusing on making it funky and keeping it in the pocket. So for the next 8 bars of this solo, we're going to continue with this motif theme of playing. Now you'll notice I'm breaking this solo down into 4-bar and 8-bar chunks. This is a really great way to keep things organized when you're improvising. Really, you can play any phrases you want, but by using repetition and motifs and structuring the solo in 4-bar or 8-bar sections, it keeps the solo from running away from you and not making sense. So for this next 8 bars, we're going to play a different motif up in a higher register. And I'm going to alter it slightly every other time. I'm going to change the tail end of the phrase, and that's going to give it this sort of call and response type phrasing. So now we're going to elaborate on this call and response idea, but I'm going to start incorporating some more fluid and notey lines into the solo at this point. Since we played so sparse and simple in the beginning, I've got plenty of gas left in the tank to kick things up a notch. So I can play these longer phrases that cross over the bar line and change the rhythmic feel of the solo. This is going to take the solo in a different direction because we've already laid that solid rhythmic foundation. So now to wrap things up, we're going to bookend our solo with another 4-bar section. We started our solo with a 4-bar introduction, playing some very sparse licks to kind of ease into the solo. And now we're going to wrap it up with another 4-measure section where we're going to play a line to wrap up and get out of the solo. And it's very important that we phrase our final lick of the solo so that we're out of the solo before the next section of the music begins. So these are just a few things to think about when improvising, but hopefully some of these concepts will help get your playing a little bit more organized. If you'd like the tabs to the specific examples in this lesson or the backing track to practice over, check out my Patreon page. All of the links are down in the description. Until next time, happy practicing and take care.